on time point 16, roughly 16 minutes between around 18 or 19, 20 minutes, MacArthur totally disses Americanism. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He rejects he does a forcible effort to reject the American Revolution as a Christian event.
Right.
Which is fantastic, because that is actually one of the few places of inconsistency we see in this whole interview.
Right. So,
which means he can't claim, and this is the logical conclusion. It means he can't claim any credit for it, and he certainly can't advocate the Christians have any right to the freedoms of the American Constitution, which wouldn't be consistent.
But please, Lord, I'm just not saying this. Please, Lord, this is a valid prayer. Please take away church tax deductions, so that I can see what MacArthur says about wholesale obedience to the government, and there shouldn't have been an American Revolution because of taxation. Okay.
Well, how could, and based on his own doctrine, how can you complain about abortion? How can you complain? By definition, God wants it that way.
Well,
he wants babies slaughtered in the womb. He wants it that way. He put the government in power.
So
he wants it that way.
So true Christians don't revolt against the government, even if it's Nazi Germany. It's God's ordained power that you're to obey, okay, which is obviously the logical conclusion, and he stopped barely short of saying. He's contrasting that with his interpretation of Romans 13, let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists God, who God has appointed. And those who resist God will endure judgment. And of course, we know the historical context that this was written in. But what I contend to you is when Paul goes on to talk about the purpose of government to punish evil and reward good, I contend to you, along with the framers of the American Constitution, that when the government isn't serving that purpose, it may be overthrown.
Yeah. Well, listen to this. I mean, listen to how MacArthur defines this. And I think this is, if you're not paying attention, you miss this.
Okay.
Shapiro asks him that very question. He says, there is a point then when the government has lost its legitimacy. There is a point in your philosophy and theology where the government loses legitimacy, so forth and so on, that there is a point where a revolution would be justified or necessary. MacArthur says, now listen to this. He says, no, not in a biblical sense, no, I don't think there's ever a time when you would be justified in starting to kill the people that are in power. That's how he defines a revolution.
Right.
That's how he defines a revolution as a group of people marching down to the White House, breaking into the White House, pulling the president out, going down to the Capitol, pulling all the senators and congressmen out, and one by one lining up in front of the guillotine and chopping their heads off.
Right.
He says that's his definition of a revolution. That is how he's defining the American Revolution. But that's not what happened in the American Revolution. Is he that clueless, or is he purposefully trying to redefine terms that were in a sense that we would definitely say, if you're going to define a revolution in those terms, no, we would definitely be not before that. But that's not what happened in the American Revolution.
So he gets up in his pulpit and disses Joel Osteen, and would condone in a heartbeat for every person in Joel Osteen's church to revolt and walk out and come to his church or some other church. Okay? But wait a minute. Is Joel Osteen not God's appointed minister, just like a government or any other appointed minister? Well, now we're getting into who's the judge of whether he is or isn't. Well, he isn't because I say so, and therefore, blah, blah, blah. So, appointed, preordained ministers by God, something different? I don't think so. But hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay? We're to obey the government, right? Right? Mm-hmm. We're to obey and be in total submission to the government. So, therefore, what does the American Constitution say that we're to do when those in power in American government begin to fall away from the original dictates of the Constitution? What does the Constitution say to do?
Well, the Constitution doesn't say it, but the Declaration of Independence says that we have a right to alter or abolish it.
Right. So,
That's a
great point. I said that's a great point. To follow Johnny Mac's logic here, basically he just told us that we have the right to abolish a government because this is the government God installed. So if the government God installed, we have the right to resist it if it's wrong.
But then here's the other flip side of that, John, and you've mentioned this, and I've brought this same point up before. By this reasoning, the Reformation should not have happened. The Reformation should never have happened.
Absolutely true.
Roman Catholicism, Augustinian...
Exactly what the Catholic Church has said since the Reformation. The fact of the matter is that by Johnny Mac logic, Luther, Calvin should never have dissented such that they departed. Now, I understand Luther always thought he was a Calvinist. He really thought he never left the Catholic Church. But the fact of the matter is that Protestantism should not exist if what Johnny Mac said is doctrinally consistent.
John Huss had a standing army. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of the reformers had a standing army.
Well, you and I both know, Paul, Calvin was, before the ink was dry on the Institutes, his entire preamble to the Institutes is a letter to the French king to come, please, bring your army and kill people that oppose me.
Right. Okay. So, we've covered that craziness pretty well.